What if I told you that scientists can now predict with shocking accuracy how many years you have left after turning 70? Not through crystal balls or fortune telling, but through 7 specific signs your body reveals right now. These aren't vague guesses. These are 7 science-backed, statistically proven indicators that doctors are now using to estimate life expectancy, down to the year. In fact, a groundbreaking study from Harvard Medical School followed 16,000 seniors for over 2 decades and discovered something that turned the medical world upside down. These researchers found that people who showed 7 specific positive signs lived an average of 17 years longer than those who showed none. That's nearly 2 extra decades of life. The most fascinating part? Some of these signs have nothing to do with traditional health markers like blood pressure or cholesterol. In fact, the number one sign shocked even the researchers themselves. It's something you do every single day without thinking about it, and a simple 30-second test can tell you exactly where you stand. Scientists at Johns Hopkins discovered that seniors who failed this basic test were 5 times more likely to die within the next 4 years. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. Many of these signs are under your control. You can improve them, but only if you know what to look for. In this video, we're revealing the 7 most powerful predictors of longevity after age 70, ranked from least to most important, with the number one sign being so precise that one study found it predicted mortality within a 95% confidence. Stay with me because what you're about to learn could literally add years to your life. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments, what age do you want to reach and why? We're reading and replying to every single comment with personalized tips. Now let's begin with the sign number 7, which is one that hides in plain sight. Number 7. Grip strength. It might sound too simple to matter, but how tightly you can squeeze something actually holds the key to how long you'll live. Doctors call this grip strength, which is the amount of force your hand can apply when you close it around an object like a stress ball or a dynamometer, which is a handheld measuring device. This isn't just about hand muscles. It reflects the overall condition of your body, including your muscle mass, coordination, and nervous system function. One of the most referenced studies on this was published in The Lancet in 2015 and followed over 140,000 people across 17 countries. It found that for every 5 kilogram decrease in grip strength, the risk of death from any cause increased by 16%. In people over 70, lower grip strength was directly linked to higher chances of cardiovascular death, stroke, and even hospital readmission. What makes this sign so important is that it's easy to test and often overlooked. You don't need a fancy lab or expensive blood work, just a hand strength tester or even a thick jar lid to twist. If it feels unusually hard to grip or open items, that could be your first warning. And the fix isn't complicated. Resistance exercises like squeezing tennis balls, using hand grippers, or doing lightweight training for the forearms can quickly improve grip strength. Even something as simple as hanging from a bar for 10 seconds a day can rebuild lost power. Take Jim, a 74-year-old retired school teacher from Minneapolis. He spent most of his days reading and gardening until he noticed he couldn't twist open a soda bottle one afternoon. He brushed it off at first, but a week later, his doctor mentioned his grip strength had dropped by over 30% in 2 years. That was the same year he'd fallen twice and had started needing help up the stairs. Jim started a simple grip training routine, squeezing stress balls, light dumbbell curls, and gripping a towel tightly for 30 seconds a day. Within 3 months, he could hold a grocery bag in each hand again without shaking. More importantly, his blood pressure improved, his walking speed increased, and he started sleeping better. He's now 78, still active, and hasn't had a fall since. But your hands aren't the only thing that can quietly predict the end. What if I told you the size of your social circle could forecast how many birthdays you have left, even more than your blood pressure? 6. Social circle size. If you think being a loner in your 70s is just a personality trait, think again. The number of real social connections you maintain after age 70 is one of the strongest predictors of whether you'll still be here in 10 years. Researchers at Brigham Young University published a meta-analysis of 148 studies involving over 300,000 participants and found that people with strong social relationships had a 50% higher chance of survival. That's right. Being socially connected was as powerful a predictor of life expectancy as quitting smoking, and even more impactful than exercise or losing weight. The science behind this is surprisingly physical. When you regularly engage with others, your brain releases oxytocin, which is a hormone that reduces stress and inflammation. At the same time, it lowers cortisol, which is the stress hormone that damages your heart, memory, and immune system. The scary part is that many seniors don't even realize their social circle is shrinking. Family members move away, friends pass on, and health limitations make outings harder. Before you know it, days go by without meaningful conversation, and loneliness sets in, not just emotionally, but biologically. The National Institute on Aging reports that chronic loneliness in seniors increases the risk of dementia by 40% and heart disease by 29%. But it doesn't have to be that way. Rebuilding a social life can start with just one regular call every week, a group class at a local center, or even joining an online video group for seniors. What matters isn't how many people you know, but how often you feel seen, heard, and valued. Meet Sandra, a 76-year-old widow who lived alone in Phoenix after her husband passed away. She had no children, and her closest friend had moved to Florida. At first, she enjoyed the quiet, but over time, her energy dropped. Her memory became foggy, and she started skipping meals. Her doctor suspected early cognitive decline, but instead recommended she join a weekly senior book club hosted at a local library. At first, Sandra was hesitant, but after just 2 months of weekly meetings, lunch outings, and a few new friendships, her mood lifted. Her appetite returned. Her blood pressure dropped by 12 points, and her memory test scores improved by 18% on her next visit. According to a 2020 study published in Age and Aging, seniors who increase social activity even twice a month can reduce their mortality risk by 26%. Sandra now says, "The books are great, but it's the laughter that keeps me alive." So yeah, friends can keep you alive longer, but so can your feet. Because the next sign is something you do every day, and how fast you do it might be silently deciding your future. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it, and subscribe. We've got more powerful senior health tips videos coming every day, and you don't want to miss the next one. Number 5. Walking speed. The next sign isn't something you'd ever associate with lifespan until you see the data. It's how fast you walk. Known medically as gait speed, this one factor has become one of the most accurate physical indicators of aging and mortality after 70. In fact, doctors now call it the sixth vital sign because it tells them more about your survival chances than some blood tests. One study published in JAMA followed nearly 35,000 older adults and found that every 0.1 meter per second increase in walking speed was linked to a 12% decrease in mortality risk. That means if you walk even slightly faster than average for your age, your chances of living longer go up significantly. This isn't about power walking or running marathons. It's about your natural walking pace in everyday life. The reason it matters is that walking speed reflects multiple systems at once. Your heart, lungs, muscles, nerves, and brain all work together to coordinate a steady, balanced stride. If any of those systems are declining, your walking speed usually drops, even before you notice other symptoms. Many seniors think moving slower is just part of aging, but science says it's an early warning. Slower walkers are more likely to suffer from hidden inflammation, undiagnosed heart disease, or early neurodegeneration like Parkinson's or dementia. And the fix? It's often just movement. Regular walking, even for 10 minutes a day, can gradually retrain your body and restore confidence. Take Harold, a 79-year-old retired mechanic from Denver. His granddaughter noticed that during a trip to the park, Harold lagged behind more than usual and often stared at the ground while walking. Concerned, she recorded his pace. He was walking at 0.7 meters per second, which is well below the 1.0 meters per second considered healthy for his age. His doctor referred him to a physical therapist, who started him on a daily 15-minute walking and balance routine. After 6 weeks, Harold's walking speed improved to 1.1 meters per second. But the real surprise? His cholesterol levels dropped, his mood lifted, and he no longer needed his cane for short walks. According to a 2019 study in BMC Geriatrics, seniors who increase walking speed by just 0.15 meters per second after age 70 reduced their risk of major disability within 2 years by nearly 40%. Harold now walks every morning with a neighbor and says it's the highlight of his day. But what's flowing inside your veins could be even more telling. Up next is a blood protein that quietly reveals whether your body is strong enough to keep going or running on empty. Number 4. Albumin levels in your blood. Hidden deep in your blood work is a number most people have never heard of, but doctors quietly watch very closely. Your serum albumin level. Albumin is a protein made by your liver that helps keep fluid in your blood vessels, transports hormones and vitamins, and controls inflammation. It might sound boring, but when albumin drops too low, it's one of the strongest warning signs that something serious is going on inside the body. A 2014 study in the American Journal of Medicine followed over 16,000 people aged 70 and older and found that seniors with low albumin levels, below 3.5 grams per deciliter, had a 59% higher risk of death within just 3 years. That's not a small difference. Low albumin almost always points to one of 3 things: malnutrition, chronic inflammation, or early organ failure, particularly in the liver, kidneys, or heart. The tricky part is that low albumin doesn't cause symptoms right away. You can't feel it. You won't see it in the mirror, but it slowly weakens your immune system, reduces your muscle repair, and increases your chances of complications after surgery or infection. Many doctors now include albumin testing in routine senior checkups, especially before major procedures. The test is simple, just a standard blood draw, and the healthy range is 3.5 to 5.0 grams per deciliter. If your number is close to the bottom, it's time to act. That means improving your protein intake, staying hydrated, reducing inflammatory foods like sugar and processed meat, and in some cases, getting liver or kidney function tests. Let's look at Rosa, an 81-year-old retired seamstress from Houston. She had always been thin, but recently she had lost another 10 pounds without trying. She still felt okay, but her doctor noticed her skin was getting thin and her energy was fading. Blood tests showed her albumin had dropped to 3.3 grams per deciliter. While Rosa wasn't visibly sick, her doctor explained that her body was struggling to repair itself. She was referred to a nutritionist who added eggs, lentils, and protein shakes to her meals. Within 2 months, her albumin rose to 3.8. Her wounds started healing faster, her energy returned, and she stopped bruising so easily. A 2020 Japanese study in clinical nutrition found that raising albumin levels in elderly patients led to a 32% reduction in hospital stays and a 22% improvement in post-injury recovery. Rosa now says she checks her albumin level like she checks her bank account. It tells me if my body is still rich enough to fight. Your blood may whisper the truth, but your sleep screams it. And the way you breathe at night might just be the deadliest secret your body is hiding. Number 3. Sleep disruption from breathing problems. If you're waking up gasping for air at night, or your partner says you snore like a lawnmower, your body might be flashing a red light about your future. Sleep-disordered breathing, especially obstructive sleep apnea, is one of the most underdiagnosed but deadly predictors of early mortality in seniors. A landmark 2016 study in sleep health tracked over 10,000 adults over the age of 65 and found that untreated sleep apnea increased the risk of heart failure by 58% and stroke by 67% within just 5 years. Why? Because when your breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep, your blood oxygen drops, your heart works harder, and your brain gets less rest. Over time, this damages blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and accelerates cognitive decline. The problem is that most seniors don't know they have it. They think waking up tired or going to the bathroom multiple times at night is normal aging. But here's how to spot the real warning signs: loud or irregular snoring, waking up with a dry mouth, morning headaches, trouble concentrating, or feeling sleepy during the day despite sleeping 7 or 8 hours. If any of these sound familiar, a sleep study can give answers. These are painless overnight tests, either in a clinic or at home, that monitor your breathing, heart rate, and oxygen levels. And the solution? It can be as simple as using a CPAP machine, sleeping on your side, or losing just 5 to 10 pounds. Even reducing alcohol or sedative use can dramatically improve symptoms. Let's talk about Paul, a 73-year-old retired firefighter from Ohio. For years, he thought his fatigue came from old injuries and getting older. His wife had complained about his snoring for over a decade, and he'd been waking up to pee 4 times a night. But it wasn't until he fell asleep at the wheel for a few seconds at a red light that he knew something was wrong. His doctor ordered a sleep study, which revealed that Paul stopped breathing over 32 times per hour. That's severe sleep apnea. He started using a CPAP machine, which delivers steady air through a mask. And within 2 weeks, his energy returned, his mood improved, and his blood pressure dropped from 148/92 to 128/78. He now sleeps through the night and says he feels 10 years younger. According to the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, treating sleep apnea in seniors reduces the risk of all-cause mortality by up to 40% over a decade. Paul says he didn't just save his sleep, he saved his life. So if your nights feel broken, it might not be age. It might be your breath, and fixing it could be the key to reaching 90 and beyond. Number 2. Mild cognitive impairment. Most people think memory loss is just part of getting older. But here's the terrifying truth. Mild forgetfulness after 70 may actually be one of the most powerful predictors of how long you'll live. Mild cognitive impairment is a condition where your memory and thinking slow down more than expected for your age, but not enough to be classified as dementia. That might sound harmless, but according to a major 2022 study in neurology that tracked over 12,000 adults, 45% of people with MCA developed to dementia within just 5 years. And among those, 37% died within that same time period. What's worse, people with undiagnosed MCA are more likely to fall, miss medications, isolate themselves socially, and lose independence, all of which spiral into faster physical decline. The signs can be subtle: forgetting recent conversations, losing your train of thought mid-sentence, struggling to make decisions, or having a harder time planning simple tasks like preparing meals or managing bills. Many seniors hide these issues out of embarrassment. But the earlier MC is detected, the more you can slow it down, or in some cases, even reverse it. That's because MC isn't caused by aging alone. It's heavily influenced by lifestyle factors like blood sugar, sleep quality, stress, diet, and physical activity. Cognitive training, social interaction, Mediterranean-style diets, and 150 minutes of movement per week have all been shown to delay progression. In fact, a 2021 Lancet Healthy Longevity study found that seniors who engaged in daily memory games and light walking reduced MCI progression by 30% in just 1 year. Let's meet Linda, a 75-year-old former nurse from Sacramento. She noticed she was forgetting grocery lists and sometimes left the stove on. Her daughter insisted on a cognitive assessment, which showed early MCI. At first, Linda was devastated, but her neurologist assured her that awareness was power. Linda joined a local brain fitness program that combined walking, puzzles, music therapy, and group discussions. She also started eating more leafy greens, salmon, and berries. 6 months later, her memory test score improved by 11%, and her balance and mood improved too. Today, she mentors other seniors in the same program. Linda says, "I thought it was the beginning of the end, but it turned out to be the beginning of my comeback." Her case proves that MC isn't a death sentence, but ignoring it can become one. If your brain feels foggy, get checked, because the number one sign of how long you'll live is actually hiding in the way you move. Number 1, gait variability or inconsistency in your steps. Forget everything you thought about aging, because the single most accurate sign of future death after 70 is not your weight, your memory, or even your heart rate. It's how evenly you walk. Gait variability refers to the subtle millisecond level inconsistencies in your step timing and stride length as you move. You might feel like you're walking just fine, but motion analysis systems can detect tiny stutters, hesitations, or rhythm changes that signal brain and body disconnection. And here's the shocking part. A massive 2020 study in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience followed over 9,000 seniors for 8 years and found that those with high gait variability were 73% more likely to die within that time, even if they had no diagnosed illness. That's more predictive than cholesterol or even blood pressure. So why is it so deadly? Because walking evenly requires full body coordination. Your muscles, inner ear, cerebellum, movement brain center, spinal nerves, and joint sensors all have to fire together. If your steps start changing rhythm without you trying, it's a sign that your nervous system is faltering, even before major symptoms appear. Gait variability is also the earliest marker of cognitive disorders like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. Many hospitals now offer gait labs or wearable sensors to measure it, but you can self-test at home by walking a straight line for 30 feet, turning, and walking back. If you notice unequal steps, wobbling, or delayed turns, it may be time for evaluation. Now meet Roger, an 80-year-old jazz saxophonist from Chicago. He was active and sharp, but his daughter noticed something strange. When he walked across the living room, he sometimes shuffled or paused before turns. She recorded it and showed it to a neurologist. Roger's gait variability was high, even though his blood work and brain scan were normal. He began balance training, Tai Chi, and coordination drills while also taking omega-3s and cutting down on alcohol. After 4 months, his walking pattern evened out, and his follow-up showed dramatic nervous system improvement. According to a 2023 meta-analysis from the Journal of Gerontology, interventions that improve gait consistency reduced death rates by 39% in seniors over 75. Roger's story reminds us that the body whispers before it screams, and those whispers are in your footsteps. Fixing your walk might just fix your future. So now you know, these 7 signs aren't just random quirks of aging. They are real, measurable indicators of how your body is holding up, and how long it might keep going. And the best part, most of them can still be improved. You don't need fancy treatments or expensive tests. Just awareness, action, and the willingness to listen to what your body has been trying to tell you. If you noticed any of these signs in yourself or someone you love, don't panic, but don't wait. Start with one small change today. Whether it's walking a little faster, joining a weekly group, or asking your doctor to check that one number in your blood, the future is still in your hands. Now we want to hear from you. What age are you hoping to reach? And which of these signs surprise you the most? Share your story in the comments. We're reading and replying to each one. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe so you don't miss what we're covering next. Because the next video could reveal a hidden food or habit that's either extending or shortening your life as we speak. Thanks for watching.